Hi everyone, this is Holly with the Learning and Content team at Tripleseat. In this video, I'm going to review the new feature of creating default setup and teardown times in the settings to make it quicker and easier to add these times to an event. Until now, this has been a manual action that needed to be completed per event. Once these times are configured, a buffer is created that prevents any conflicts in booking more events, and you will be able to spend less time managing your calendar and more time booking new business. Starting on my settings page, I will click on locations and edit details for the location I want these default setup and teardown times to be applied. Once I am on the locations edit details page, I will scroll down to the event styles section and see a new field next to both the on-premise and full-service catering event styles. Default times are available only for these two event styles, and they will only appear if the event styles are enabled. For this location, I'm going to select 1 hour for the setup and teardown times for both of my event styles. Since I have multiple locations, I can either have this feature apply to the one location I am editing now, or I can check off the box Apply to all locations in this group, so this setup and teardown time applies to all of those locations. Once I choose my setup and teardown times, I will click Update at the bottom of the page to save these settings. Once saved, these default times will appear for events moving forward only. Any past events or previously created events will not be affected by this update unless I edit an existing event and change the event style. Next, I will create a new event to see my default setup and teardown times populate. Now that I have started to detail a new event, I will select my start and end time and then select Add Setup Teardown Time to see the newly defaulted setup and teardown times appear. Once the time frame is selected, I can see the setup time appear for an hour before and then the teardown time for an hour after. With my setup and teardown times enabled, I can also see any potential conflicts if trying to create an event that starts immediately after another, as that would overlap the latter event's teardown time slot. Also keep in mind that these default times can still be overridden and adjusted for any one-off events that may need an extended or shortened setup or teardown time. Since this event's teardown time conflicts with the start time of the other event, I'm going to adjust the teardown time to only a half hour instead of an hour. Once I have completed all of the event details, I will click Create to start the new event. Now let's see how this looks in the calendar view. On the calendar, I can see that my newly created event has populated, and when I click on it and expand the details, I will see the setup and teardown time listed underneath the event's time frame. If I switch the calendar view to the timeline, I can also see a new filter has been created to provide another way to see the event's setup and teardown times displayed. I will select the Filters button on the right of the calendar and scroll down to see the new section labeled Setup and Teardown Display. There are now two options I can choose between to show the setup and teardown times. Combine with Event will show one continuous cell on the calendar that spans from the setup time to the teardown time. If I select Show Separately, I will see shaded gray cells appear for the setup or teardown blocks to the left or right of the event cell. The separate cell from the two gray cells displays the duration of only the event on this display option. These filter options are only visible on the timeline view of the calendar, and as with any calendar filters, these stick and are saved per user. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please reach out to the support team, support@tripleseat.com, or by clicking the Help Question button at the top right corner of any screen in Tripleseat.